Venus rotates in the opposite direction compared to most planets, making the sun rise in the west and set in the east. Its rotation is extremely slow, so one Venusian day lasts longer than an entire year. Scientists believe a massive ancient collision may have flipped its axis, creating this unusual spin. Combined with its thick, heat-trapping atmosphere, Venus experiences extreme temperatures and long, harsh days and nights. Honey can remain edible for thousands of years because of its low moisture, acidity, and natural antibacterial compounds. Archaeologists have discovered jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that were still perfectly preserved after more than 3,000 years. These chemical properties prevent bacteria or fungi from growing, essentially creating an immortal food that defies decay, unlike most other consumables on Earth. Atoms, the building blocks of everything around you, are almost entirely empty space. If scaled up to the size of a stadium, the nucleus would be a tiny speck in the center, while electrons would orbit far away. What we feel as solid is just the electromagnetic forces preventing atoms from passing through each other. Essentially, all matter is mostly empty space, held together by invisible forces. Octopuses have 3 hearts working together to pump blood. 2 hearts circulate blood through the gills, while the third pumps it through the rest of the body. Their blood is blue due to copper-based hemocyanin, allowing efficient oxygen transport in cold water. This combination of features makes them exceptionally resilient, adaptable, and biologically alien compared to most other creatures in the ocean. Botanically, bananas are classified as berries, while strawberries, surprisingly, are not. The banana plant produces fruit from a flower with a single ovary, fitting the botanical definition of a berry. Thousands of years of cultivation have shaped the bananas we eat today from small, wild varieties. This odd classification shows that common language doesn't always match scientific definitions. Footprints left by astronauts on the moon will remain for millions of years because there is no wind or water to erode them. The fine lunar dust holds impressions perfectly, and even meteoroid impacts are rare enough that these traces can survive extremely long periods. They are silent monuments of human exploration, frozen in time on a barren, airless landscape, untouched by natural processes. The number of possible chess games is so vast it exceeds the number of atoms in the observable universe. Even if every person on Earth played a unique game every second, it would take billions of times longer than the age of the universe to explore all possibilities. This mind-boggling complexity is what makes chess endlessly fascinating and why no computer has fully solved the game despite decades of development. Your body produces hundreds of millions of new cells every minute, replacing damaged and old cells. These processes happen constantly and invisibly, sustaining organs, muscles, and the immune system. Despite this massive turnover, the body maintains a remarkable balance, ensuring that organs function correctly. It's a stunning demonstration of biological efficiency and precision that happens automatically throughout life. A cat's nose has a unique pattern of ridges and bumps, similar to a human fingerprint, making each one unique. Scientists can identify individual cats by their nose patterns. This feature is rarely noticed, but it serves as an example of how nature creates unique identifiers in different species, helping researchers study populations and track individual animals in both wild and domestic environments. A teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh about 6 billion tons. Neutron stars are incredibly dense remnants of massive stars that have exploded as supernovae. Their gravity is so extreme that matter is compressed to unimaginable densities. Even a tiny fragment from such an object contains energy and mass far beyond anything we experience on Earth, making them some of the most extreme objects in the universe. Nuclear weapons will not explode unless the detonation sequence is perfectly arranged. Dropping or burning them without the precise, triggering mechanism will not cause a nuclear explosion. This precise design ensures safety, but the destructive potential remains enormous if properly armed. Modern weapons rely on exact engineering and timing to release their energy, showing a terrifying combination of power and control. Newborn kittens and puppies can experience dreams within days after birth. Their brains are active during sleep cycles, producing patterns similar to older animals and humans during REM sleep. These dreams may involve sensory experiences, like sounds or movements, reflecting early brain development. Even at this fragile age, young mammals are capable of complex neural activity beyond simple instinctual reactions. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean reaches approximately 11 kilometers deep, deeper than the height of Mount Everest. Pressures at the bottom exceed 1,000 times atmospheric pressure at sea level. Despite these extreme conditions, life exists, including strange fish, crustaceans, and microbial organisms. This hidden world shows how adaptable life can be and how much of our planet remains unexplored. Muscles in the human calves act like a secondary heart, helping pump blood back up toward the main heart. Known as the muscle pump, this mechanism is critical for circulation, especially in upright positions. Without it, blood could pool in the legs, causing swelling or fainting. It's an elegant adaptation that works constantly without conscious effort, sustaining life efficiently. All humans share about 99.9% of their DNA with each other. The small 0.1% difference accounts for every visible variation in appearance, traits, and predispositions. Despite the minor genetic differences, this highlights the fundamental unity of humanity. Understanding these similarities and differences is crucial for medicine, genetics, and anthropology, showing how small changes create huge diversity. A single large cruise ship can emit more CO2 in a day than some small countries produce in the same period. These ships burn vast amounts of fuel for propulsion, electricity, and amenities, polluting the atmosphere with greenhouse gases and sulfur compounds. Environmental regulations are tightening, but the impact remains significant, making cruise emissions a surprisingly large contributor to global pollution. The human brain uses about 20% of the body's total energy, even though it accounts for only 2% of body weight. Neurons constantly fire, communicate, and process sensory information, maintaining memory, reasoning, and coordination. This energy requirement is huge compared to other organs, highlighting the brain's complexity and the metabolic cost of intelligence. Energy supply is critical for normal cognitive function. Sharks existed long before trees appeared on Earth. Fossil evidence shows some shark species evolved over 400 million years ago, while the first forests appeared around 350 million years ago. This makes sharks one of the oldest surviving vertebrate lineages, adapted to changing oceans, climates, and ecosystems. They demonstrate the durability of evolutionary design over hundreds of millions of years. The Leaning Tower of Pisa tilts because it was built on soft, uneven soil that could not fully support its weight. The foundations settled unevenly during construction, creating the iconic lean. Despite centuries of tilting, the structure has survived, partly thanks to engineering corrections in modern times. The tower is a striking example of how natural conditions can dramatically affect human architecture. Certain turtle species can extract oxygen through their cloaca, a process often called butt breathing. This adaptation allows them to stay submerged for long periods, especially during hibernation or underwater inactivity. Specialized sacs and blood vessels make this possible, demonstrating a unique physiological adaptation. It's one of the most unusual respiratory strategies among vertebrates. Modern corn evolved from a small, wild grass in Mexico over thousands of years of selective cultivation. The large, nutrient-rich ears we eat today are drastically different from the tiny kernels of its ancestors. This transformation illustrates how humans can influence plant genetics, creating crops optimized for size, taste, and productivity. Corn's evolution is a striking example of artificial selection. Hippopotamus milk has a pinkish hue due to natural pigments and compounds with antibacterial properties. This unique coloration helps protect young hippos from infections and may also shield the milk from harmful UV radiation. It's one of the few examples in mammals where milk is naturally colored, adding an unexpected twist to an otherwise familiar biological function. Earth is not a perfect sphere. It's slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator due to rotation. This oblate shape affects gravity slightly across the globe and influences satellite orbits and geophysical measurements. Understanding this subtle deviation from a perfect sphere is crucial for mapping, navigation, and scientific studies of Earth's shape and rotation dynamics. Point Nemo in the South Pacific Ocean is the oceanic location farthest from any land. The nearest humans are often astronauts aboard the International Space Station, more than 400 kilometers above. Its extreme isolation makes it a spacecraft cemetery, where decommissioned satellites and stations are intentionally deorbited. It is the most remote place on Earth, symbolizing true planetary solitude. When we look at stars, we see them as they were in the past, because light takes years to reach us. Some stars visible tonight may no longer exist, their light continuing to travel across space. Observing the night sky is essentially looking back in time, witnessing cosmic events that occurred millions or even billions of years ago, giving a true sense of the vastness and age of the universe. Jellyfish survive and thrive without a brain, heart, or central nervous system. Their movements and behaviors are controlled by a simple network of nerves and muscle contractions, allowing them to capture prey and avoid predators. Despite this simplicity, they have persisted for hundreds of millions of years, demonstrating that complex life doesn't always require complex organs to adapt and survive. Hot water can sometimes freeze faster than cold water, a phenomenon called the Mpemba Effect. It's still not fully understood, but factors like evaporation, convection currents, and dissolved gases may contribute. This counterintuitive process defies basic expectations of cooling and heating, showing that even everyday substances like water can behave in surprising and complex ways under certain conditions. After massive earthquakes, the Earth can literally ring like a bell, sending seismic waves vibrating through the planet. These vibrations are measurable and can last for days, revealing the interior structure of Earth to scientists. This ringing demonstrates how solid and fluid layers interact, giving insights into geology and the planet's natural response to large-scale stress and energy release. A parasitic fungus called Ophiocordyceps can infect ants, taking control of their nervous system. Infected ants climb plants, attach to leaves, and die, allowing the fungus to grow out of their bodies and release spores. This mind-controlling strategy ensures maximum dispersal of the fungus, creating a real-life, zombie ant scenario that seems like science fiction but is fully documented in tropical forests. Approximately half of the water on Earth is older than the Sun itself, formed in interstellar clouds before the solar system existed. This ancient water was incorporated into planets, comets, and asteroids, eventually becoming part of Earth's oceans and ice. It shows that some elements of our planet predate our solar system, connecting Earth to the broader history of the universe in a literal chemical sense.